When a client ghosts, the coach can have a slew of emotions and thoughts, often negative and often leading to a downward spiral. This is understandable because the coach-trainee relationship is just that, a relationship. And the coach can, not always, but can feel like they're giving a gift and yet that gift is not being received. Which brings me to the truth at hand. There is a disconnect and you need to find it. I'm Annie Miller and I help coaches build sustainable and data-backed online health and fitness businesses without selling their soul to vanity metrics. Some ways that you can experience a client having low adherence might look like the following. Either a client not responding to you when you reach out, a client not completing workouts, a client not completing prescription with no explanation, or a client not filling out a check-in form. Anything really that falls into the non-responsive or not adhering. This is specific to one-on-one or hybrid programs. With memberships, there may be a lower adherence anyway, but if a high percentage of your membership clients are not completing their work, I would definitely go back to the drawing board and be sure that your messaging is right. Meaning you're attracting the right people who understand the expectations for your membership, or consider how you can build in some stickiness and encouragement to adhere. For one-on-one and hybrid coaching, let me remind you of a few things. You and the client are on the same team. Removing self or externally inflicted client shame is going to be key here. Communication will also save you. I know it can be hard to believe this, but it is highly unlikely that a client hates you or wants to be failing. So always remind the client that you are indeed on the same team and here to help them. Remind them clearly that you are not here to shame or guilt them, rather to help them find a solution. Things can change if needed. This is where you have a conversation about why that low adherence is happening. Is it something more that the client needs from you? Do you need to refine the goal? Is it unrealistic for this particular season? Do you need to refine the process but keep the same goal? You'll hopefully determine this through said conversation with the client. The point is you're letting the client know that things can change if needed. Less days per week, shorter workouts, a different goal within the workouts. I approach this from a training perspective because that is my particular background, but a barrier is too high or misaligned and your goal is to find that barrier, lower it, or redirect it. Now, if the client continues to be non-responsive, this depends on kind of what is in your terms and conditions that they signed or the contract that they signed, and it's also up to your discretion. You can let the client go, but obviously communicate that to them via email. We need that written documentation. You can also let the client know what terms they agreed to and what action you are taking moving forward, and then audit your onboarding process and application in order to hopefully eliminate or at least mitigate this issue in the future. Clients should be adhering with the exception that life happens. We're looking for consistency, not perfection. But again, this should be known to you and communication should remain open between you and the client. And no one should be ghosting you. Have you ever been ghosted by a client? No shame, but let me know down in the comments below and maybe what you did. I can't say what your application should ask, but it should weed out anyone who is not a good fit for your approach or who isn't truly ready to put in the work and time to make whatever change they want to make. In the same breath, your application should also be able to get someone who may not be fully ready by the time they finish filling it out. I hope that helps. I know it's a little bit vague, but I am not here to tell you exactly what your application should say. If you do feel that there may be a disconnect in your messaging or maybe who you're speaking to and finding ideal clients, be sure to download my free Ideal Client Avatar Creator. The link will be in the description. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe because I put out new videos every Tuesday.